Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, chapter 8. Hare.
I play Mridanga. Yeah. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhai Charanaravinda Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Sanstapaka Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Nityalila Pravishta Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Sachit Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Baladev Bhushan Prabhu ki Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem Se Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrinda Devi Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Shri Dwarka Puri Dham ki Shri Ayodhya Puri Dham ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Mandir ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Shri 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 Radha Shyam Sundar Lalita Vishaka Devi ki Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Srimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarane Cordless mic. I think that's what I was told. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatityuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Srimad Bhagavatam Skanda 10 Adhyaya 22 Shloka 13 Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kship Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan. Anyone else? Ladies? No? It's too far away, maybe. Evam Bruvati Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan Govinde Narmana Kshipta Chetasaha Akhanta Magna Shito De Vepamanas Tamabruvan. Okay? Padapataha. Bolo. Pada, say. Repeat. Padapataha. Pada is the word. Pata is reading. Reading the words. Padapataha. Evam. Thus. Bruvati. Speaking. Govinde. Lord Govinda. Narmana. By his joking words. Akshipta. Agitated. Chetasaha. Their minds. Akhanta. Up to their necks. Magnaha. Submerged. Shita. Cold. Ude. In the water. Vepamanaha. Shivering. Tam. To him. Abruvan. They spoke. Translation: as Sri Govinda spoke to the gopis in this way, his joking words completely captivated their minds. Submerged up to their necks in the cold water, they began to shiver. Thus they addressed him as follows. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the following example of joking between Krishna and the gopis. Krishna: O bird-like girls, if you do not come here, then with these garments caught in the branches, I will make a swing and a hammock. I need to lie down since I have spent the entire night awake and am now becoming sleepy. Krishna, gopis: O dear cowherd boy, Our dear cowherd boy, excuse me. Your cows, greedy for grass, have gone into a cave. So you must quickly go there and herd them back on the proper path. Krishna, come now, my dear cowherd girls. You must quickly go from here to Vraja and perform your household duties. Don't become a disturbance to your parents and other elders. Gopis, our dear Krishna, we will not go home for an entire month, for it is by the order of our parents and other elders that we are executing this vow of fasting, the Katyayani Vrata. Krishna, my dear austere ladies, I too, by the strength of seeing you, have now developed a surprising mood of detachment from family life. I wish to stay here for a month and execute the vow of dwelling in the clouds. And if you show mercy to me, I can come down from here and observe the vow of fasting in your company. The gopis were completely captivated by Krishna's joking words, but out of shyness they submerged themselves in the water up to their necks. Shaking from the cold, they addressed Krishna as follows. I think it's unfair to have to lecture on one verse of this chapter because the whole story is interconnected. So how can you separate? How can you separate one verse from the rest of the story? Right? It's very difficult. Achash, we should go ahead and read few verses. Okay? Why not? The flies are harassing me. Okay, let's read some more. Why not? Manasam bho kritasthvam tu nanda gopasutam priyam Janimonga vrajashlagyam dehi vasam sive pitaha padapataha. Ma, do not, anayam, injustice, boho, our dear Krishna, kritaha, do, tvam, you, tu, on the other hand, Nanda Gopa of Maharaj Nanda, Sutam, the son, Priyam, loved, Jani Maha, we know, Anga, oh dear one, Vrajashlagyam, renowned throughout Vraja, Dehi, please give, Vasamsi, our garments, Ve pitaha, to us who are shivering. Translation, the gopis said, dear Krishna, don't be unfair. We know that you are the respectable son of Nanda and that you are honored by everyone in Vraja. You are also very dear to us. Please give us back our clothes. We are shivering in the cold water. This has no purport. The next one also has no purport. Shama sundara te dasya karabhama tavoditam dehi vasamsi dharmajnya no ched rajnye bruvamahe padapataha. Shama sundara, O Lord Shama Sundar, te, your, dasyaha, maidservants, karavama, we shall do, tava, by you, uditam, what is spoken, dehi, please give, vasamsi, our clothing, dharmajnya, O knower of religion, na, not, indeed, chet, if, Rajne, to the king, Bruvamaha, we shall tell, hey, O Krishna, O Shamasundara, we are your maidservants and must do whatever you say, but give us back our clothing. You know that you know what the religious principles are. And if you do not give us our clothes, we have to tell the king, please. Next one also, no, yeah, there's a very small purport. One more? I'll read one more. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhavatyo yadi me dasyo mayoktam va karishyata atragatya swabhasamsi pratichatta suchismitaha no chennaham pradasye kim kruddho raja karishyati padapataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Bhavatyaha, you, yadi, if, may, my, dasyaha, servants, maya, by me, uktam, what has been spoken, va, or, karishyata, you will do, atra, here, agatya, coming, swavasamsi, your own garments, pratichata, pick out, shuchi, fresh, smitaha, who smiles, natu, not, chet, if, na, not, aham, I, pradasye, will give, kim, what, krudaha, angry, raja, the king, karishyati, will be able to do. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, if you girls are actually my maidservants, and if you will really do what I say, then come here with your innocent smiles and let each girl pick out her clothes. If you don't do what I say, I won't give them back to you. And even if the king becomes angry, what can he do? Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, when the gopis saw that Krishna was strong and determined, they had no alternative but to abide by his order. That purport is from the Krishna book, Krishna Leela, 10th canto. So Prabhupada, when he went to the West, he had 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, we know. But he was especially eager to present 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. So he published the Krishna book. He had help from George Harrison. We know this. George Harrison has been forgotten because he passed away 20 years ago. In ISKCON, of course, we don't forget Prabhupada. There's a daily Guru Puja. He passed away 45, it's coming up to 45 years ago. Time doesn't wait. Acha, now really the story is about the gopis. The gopis were young girls and they were naked. How can we talk about naked girls in this assembly? Doesn't sound proper. It's interesting words that are used, dharmagya, one who knows dharma. So, it was a habit of the Vraja gopis to bathe naked in the Yamuna. This is what we understand from Srimad Bhagavatam. But to understand what is dharma, where should we go? Anybody want to answer that? I like interactive sometimes. What is dharma? How do we know? Huh? No, what is dharma? What is dharma? How do we know what is dharma? Okay, I won't. Want to say something?
Natural
No, no, how do we know what is dharma? Nobody can answer that, huh? Hare Krishna. This is fun, funny thing because they can't hear. But it's supposed to be connected to the telephone, so yes, Mataji. To follow Krishna's instructions and words is dharma. I can't say that's wrong, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. But you get an A for effort. Swadharma. No, but how do we know what is Swadharma? He's closer, I would say, than what your answer was. Authoritative sources. So what are the authoritative sources? Mahajan, that's closer to what she said actually. Dharman tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Good answer, but not really what I'm looking for. But can't argue with that, isn't it? Because Yamaraj told the Yamadutas, that's the verse you're quoting from 6th canto of Bhagavatam, that dharma is the Sakshat Bhagavan, but it is promulgated by Bhagavan. But what is the source of the dharma, for human society? Natural tendency, sorry, that's not the answer. Prabhupada's purports, nobody can say no. But if you read Prabhupada's purport to Bhagavad-Gita 16:7, then you would have read that Manu Samhita and other shastras compiled by rishis, particularly Manu Samhita, he said, Manu Samhita in Bengal, here it's called Manusmriti, is Dharma Shastra. You know, now the Christians, they print the Bible in Hindi and they call it Dharma Shastra. That's half an hour sign? Okay. Only one. So, Dharma Shastras is where you get knowledge of what is Dharma. Actually, it's not only Dharma Shastras, there's Grihya Sutras. Grihya Sutras for Grihastha Ashram, but that is for the higher castes. Because everyone has a Gotra and a Sutra who's from a higher caste. I'm not from that higher caste. But I've been taught Chatusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu Abhivadaye. If you're from a higher caste, if you had the Yagnopavit Sanskar, then when you go to a guru, Shiksha Guru, for studying Shastras, you have to identify yourself, right? So, Chatusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu Abhivadaye. Some people do like this, some do like this. Abhivadaye, you identify yourself. Then the rishis, Agastya, Mahendra, Mayobhaveti, Triarsheya, Pravaras, Tripavaranvita. Then Gotra, Kaushalya Gotra, Prabhupada taught Achyuta Gotra. Then there's a sutra, Ashvalayana, Apastamba, Bhargava, the different sutras. And then a Veda. Rig Veda, the Vedas are mentioned in 1st canto, right? 1st canto of Bhagavatam, it says that I divided one Veda into 4, and then it says different rishis were given a Veda. This is the Bhagavatam, right? So, Dharma Shastras, Dharma is how to behave. Dharma, Prabhupada used to say it's duties, not religion. Prabhupada used to say Dharma is not religion, it's duties. And you know, most of the Manu Samhita has to do with Grihastha Ashram. not with the brahmachari, ashram or sannyas. They're already following Dhamma to a great extent because they're detached. There's no material attachment. Dharma Shastras are for the material world. Dharmagya, one who knows Dharma Shastras. So Vedic educational system, which is mentioned in the same 10th canto, chapter 45, text 33, 34, 35, 36. Krishna and Balaram went to Avanti. Avanti is called Ujjain now. And they studied in Sandipani's ashram. Sandipani didn't have a 50 crore rupee complex like we have. He had a hut in a forest. Well, Avanti wasn't a forest, but it was on the edge of Avanti because we know Krishna and Krishna and Sudama got stuck in the rain. Must have been in this season. You know the story. Everyone knows the story. Well, maybe not everyone. But anybody who studied Krishna book printed by Prabhupada, and those who study Bhagavatam, they know the story. They got caught in the storm, right, in the forest, and Sandipani and the boys had to go look for them, and all night Krishna and Sudama were stuck together. So, Dharmagya, one interesting word from these, what did we read, 4? 5? How many shlokas we read? We started on 13, we finished on 18, so 5? No. 16. We finished on, we went up to 16. Right. So we read 4. So the gopis address Krishna Dharmagya. You know religious principles. Acha, this is before Sandipani ashram. This is before. Krishna was praised in so many ways, but Krishna didn't need to go to Sandipani ashram, isn't it? But to set an example, he went. So Prabhupada says Dharma Shastras are the law books for humanity. So that's how we're supposed to know what is Dharma. We have to study those law books. There are many, 80 Dharma Shastras. So in the Vedic educational system, you would study Veda, Vedangas, 6 limbs of the Vedas. And after that, specialization. Now some studied histories like Romaharshana. And then his son, Romaharshana, was killed by Balaram. So then he put his son there. So they were expert in Itihasa. And there were those experts in Dharma Shastras. And then Darshana Shastras, Shad Darshanas, the philosophies. We are followers of Vedanta philosophy. A Vedanta philosophy, Vedanta is Upanishads. So the Upanishads are about moksha. Bhagavatam, 10th canto, deals with that. Acha, this Leela with the gopis. For ordinary man, how can they understand? How is it possible? Gopis wanted Krishna as their husband. They were already married. So therefore it's called Parakiya Rasa. And a woman cannot be naked except in front of her husband. So in order to grant, that's why I said that incomplete story, how do you lecture? Because the complete story is Krishna granted the wishes of the gopis by making them come in front of him naked. That way they were married to Krishna. Now, in Nitya Leela, there's no question of a marriage. It's eternal in the spiritual world. These are Krishna's pastimes in the material world. But Krishna wanted to demonstrate that Madhurya Rasa. Acha, how could Madhurya Rasa with small kids? Nobody thinks of that, a small child. But that mentality is there. Madhurya, yesterday someone told me, oh, you were present, that we should now think of Madhurya Rasa and Raganuga Bhakti. But Prabhupada didn't teach that, isn't it? Prabhupada didn't teach the practice of Raganuga Bhakti, because Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta felt that Raganuga Bhakti was when you crossed over material attachments totally. Mam cha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. So you have to become gunatit. In Gujarat, there's Gujarati sitting here. You're guilty of being from Gujarat. Krishna ran away from this place and settled in Gujarat, right? Jokingly, I'm saying. Krishna ran away from Mathura and settled in Dwarka. So sometimes we joke with people. Come to Gujarat because that's where Krishna came. So, what was I? There was something about... how did I forget that? Yeah. In Gujarat, there's a Swaminarayan Sampradaya. You've heard of it. And there's a concocted ideology called Akshar Purushottam Upasana. Any Gujarati will know this. But those of you probably, I don't know who's from Gujarat here. I just see one person. Maybe somebody else is there. Mataji is from. So they say Gunatitanand Swami is the incarnation of the impersonal Brahman. So when I spoke that word, I remember that. Gunatitaha. Atita means to cross beyond gunas. Rajogun, Tamogun, Sattvagun. So some brahmachari was named Gunatit. Right? We get these Sanskrit names, but what do they mean? Mam cha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena. That type of bhakti without material contamination. Vyabhichar means misbehaved. When you say someone is a vyabhichari, then he's misbehaved in English. Avyabhicharena, without misbehavior. But what is misbehavior? Material attachment is misbehavior. If you are a rich man and you're attached to your wealth, that is vyabhichar, in a sense. Oh, you might have inherited the money. You may not have stolen the money. Stealing is called vyabhichar, right? Bad behavior. Illicit sex, vyabhichar, bad behavior. Like that, even if you tell a lie to someone, that's vyabhichar, isn't it? From you I make no profit. Prabhupada said business means cheating. Right? Prabhupada said business means cheating. Because every businessman has to say, from you I'm not making any profit. But without profit he can't run the business. He has to lie. So, avyabhicharini bhakti yoga, it's a very high platform. It's not like, yesterday I needed some Surf Excel and I paid 10 rupees and I got a little packet of Surf Excel. It's easy. But you cannot purchase gunatitaha, right? Sagunan samatityaitan, to cross over rajogun, tamogun, and so if you want to practice Raganuga Bhakti, you would have been on that level. Mam cha yo avyabhicharini avyabhicharena, what is it? Mamchayo avyabhicharena, bhakti-yogena. By avyabhichari bhakti-yoga. Devotion without contamination. Sagunan samatitya. Etan gunan, these gunas, rajogun, tamogun, sattvagun, you can cross over, or if you cross over, brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Then you come to the highest platform. But just to artificially, let's taste the highest platform. Well, those books are there. The books are there. The Goswamis have written about topics on a very high platform. They were, we believe, we have that faith, that they were gunatita. They had crossed over the gunas. How do we know? We see the symptoms. Romancha kam pashruta ranga bhajo. Every day we're singing. Over there you're singing. Every day it's being sung. Right? Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. What is the Guru? But that Guru is on the highest platform. Acha, Prabhupada wrote that the Guru can be on a lower platform. Where? In the Nectar of Instruction, chapter 5, in the purport at the end, one should be careful to get Uttama Adhikari Guru. But Prabhupada wrote, the devotee on a lower platform may initiate disciples. He wrote clearly, may initiate. He could have written, they may not initiate. He could have written like that. But their knowledge is incomplete. They cannot give good guidance, but they can give some guidance. Right? They can give some guidance. Something is better than nothing, is a common English saying. But one should not imitate a guru who's actually an Uttama Adhikari. You have to decide who is that. But everyone considers that his guru is an Uttama Adhikari. You have to give that respect. You may have many gurus, right? The first two words of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vande Gurun, Bahuvachanam, plural. I bow down to my gurus. Dattatreya had what, 24 gurus? It's in the Bhagavatam. So if Dattatreya accepted a dog as a guru, but that doesn't mean a dog is a guru. But you have to be gunagrahi. Now, what is gunagrahi? You have to see the good. You have to see the positive, how you can spiritually advance. So there are different instructions. The basis was shown by Krishna and Balaram after this, not at this time. These leelas in Vrindavan, the most intimate, highest leelas of Krishna. We can enjoy it, but fully understand how transcendental, we have to become transcendental. So by sadhana we feel, that's our instructions. Go on with sadhana, don't stop. Someday, what is it? Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. So Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna that those who are always engaged, Tesham, those satata yuktanam bhajatam, those who always worship me, priti purvakam, with affection, I give them intelligence by which they can come to me. Tadami buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga, how you can come to Krishna. So, by practicing sadhana and serving the institution, in this case, Prabhupada made institution. Prabhupada made institution. And we believe that Prabhupada was legally competent. Some people are arguing, it says that there should be no institutional guru. Then why did Prabhupada make an institution? If he wanted everybody to just go on their own and fly on their own without support, the logic is this: there is no Raja. That's the logic. There's no king. Without a king, there's no order in the society. And this is the present position. No king. Prabhupada has written in Bhagavatam, the ideal society in India, everybody calls it Ram Rajyam, the kingdom of Ramachandra. He is the ideal king. No one was unhappy. Everyone followed their Varnashram Dharma. But there's no Rama now, or Yudhishthir. Every king is not Rama, because Rama is Bhagavan, Vishnu. He doesn't come every day. Although we say Gita says, Sarvasya chaham hridiv sannivishta, I'm in everyone's heart. But avatars are also mentioned, right? Avatars, Krishna himself says, right? Paritranaya sadhunam, one of the most famous verses in India from Gita. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami. I come. I advent myself, Prabhupada translated. So, yuge yuge, what does it mean? Bhagavatam explains. This is not in the 10th canto, but in the beginning. There are different avatars. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada says, Madhya Leela, chapter 20, text 352 in the purport. To know what is an avatara, it should be mentioned in Shastras. And in that purport, Prabhupada wrote, if the guru does not teach according to Shastras, he is not the guru. If a saintly person, sadhu, does not teach according to Shastras, he is not a saintly person. It's there, we can open it and read it. Madhya 2352. Shastra is the center for all. So this was in reference to avatars. So it's pertinent to this discussion. Krishna came 5,000 years ago and demonstrated these adbhutam, wonderful pastimes. Because he's Purna Purushottam Parameshwar, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not. Prabhupada gave sannyas in 1970 to 4 devotees. Mataji, you were in ISKCON in 1970. I was not. You are senior to all of us. And they immediately started propagating Prabhupada is Krishna. And Prabhupada expelled them. I am not Krishna. You cannot say that. So we worship Prabhupada, but we have to remember that he said, I'm not Krishna. I am not God. You are not God. We are servants of God, servants of Krishna Das. Dasa Das Anudasaha. So, but the tendency is there. That's why the jivas are in the, what is it? Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishame Bhavam Buddho. We are in this Visham Mrityu Sagar in Hindi. What do you say? The ocean of birth and death. It's miserable. We have to die. Yeah. What is the percentage of death? 100%, Prabhupada used to say. How many people are dying? Everyone has to die. And it's not a pleasant thought because we're attached to our body. And you know, when we come here, we remember different devotees who we knew who left this world. And the fact is, we will also have to give up. Some give up quickly. The other day, someone visited the temple in Baroda. I wasn't there. A big donor's son-in-law and his daughter came from USA. And 3-4 days they attended the temple, went back to USA, and the son-in-law was a doctor, had a massive heart attack and died. 43 years old. 43. Wife, children. And there's a lot of stories like that. A lot of stories means not everybody. Everyone has a different story. But padam padam yadavipadam natesham. There's danger at every step in the material world. Who is safe? Who is safe? But only the devotee is safe. Right? Krishna, 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 Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Prabhupada quoted this in the beginning of Krishna book. Krishna, protect me. And then Namaste Narasimhaya, we all chant for protection. So, gopis became the wives of Krishna. Informally, unofficially. Therefore it's called Parakiya. Someone else's wife became Krishna's wife. That's not according to Dharma. But we are all Prakriti and Krishna is the Purusha. That is the essence of this chapter. And the gopis are considered the highest devotees, the greatest devotees. They were simple, uneducated girls. Modern society wants everybody to be educated and have a career. And because of that, the Griha Dharma, the household life is disturbed. Household life is disturbed. The daughter-in-law doesn't want to serve the mother-in-law. In India, this is very common. Previously, the son would be married and the daughter-in-law would surrender to the mother-in-law. And whatever the mother-in-law said, the daughter-in-law had to do it. But now, what happens? I don't want to serve the mother-in-law, let's move out. The daughter-in-law tells the husband, let's go and live somewhere else. In the village, they couldn't do that. But in a big city, you know, who knows who's living next door to you? Nobody knows. And nobody knows who their neighbor is. That's urban life. Prabhupada said the ideal system of life is the Indian village system. Indian village system. So we're supposed to propagate all these things. We're supposed to propagate all these things. Time is running out. Right? 9 o'clock. Questions, yeah? Okay, Ishwar Prabhu. 1 minute, you get the mic. Yeah.
Some people can discard when you propagate these things. When you propagate these things, it's clear. Some people can discard that. And some people can.
Yeah, well.
Especially the Westerners.
That means we all have our material attachments, all of us. To give up those material attachments is very difficult. I can't sit here and say I'm detached from Maya. I can't say that. We're trying, taking a bath. Thing is that you shouldn't turn off the water. If you're taking a bath, you shouldn't turn off the water. And what is the water? Prabhupada's instructions. But some people are saying this in Hyderabad recently. I was for Rath Yatras, and one devotee told me, I was listening to a lecture, and some devotee said in the lecture, what Prabhupada taught was for 50 years ago, not for the future, not for now. Doesn't apply now. So yeah, there are people that think like that. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said these books are for 10,000 years. Dharma Shastra, yes. Somebody said Prabhupada's books are Dharma Shastra. It's true. Traditionally, and Prabhupada taught, Dharma Shastra is Manu Samhita. But Prabhupada is teaching humanity what is Vedic culture through his purports. And if one of his disciples says it was for that time, and it's not for now, the time has changed. This is a popular thing in society, not now, it's been popular for years. Times are changing. Times have been changing for thousands of years. Time always changes. That's the nature of the material world, right? The material world is always changing. But when we say Sanatan Dharma, those principles of Dharma, they don't change. Dharmagya, what was used here, Dharmatma, Dharmagya, one who knows Dharma. That Shastras, they don't change. Shastras remain the same. Now, the argument may be there. There are people that argue. I'm talking about not in ISKCON. There's a group in India that's quite popular, but not now. It was more popular 150 years ago. There's a lot of things that have been put into the Vedic literature that weren't there originally. Only the Veda Samhita hasn't been changed. You heard that? You heard that? They're called the Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj. But we reject that idea. We reject that idea on the basis that all the Vaishnavacharyas were very learned. And they accepted the Puranas and the Mahabharata as being original and not being changed. So we say it's a speculation that's not confirmed by the great acharyas. Prabhupada used to say the great acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarkacharya, Vallabhacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all accepted. There are many others. Shankaracharya, Prabhupada's Adi Shankaracharya accepts the Puranas, the Bhagavatam. They accept it. They may make interpretation, but they accept the Shastras. Jains, Buddhists and atheists, they don't accept Vedic literature. They don't accept. So if you reject Shastra, because putting on a tilak doesn't mean you changed your views. Somebody may put on it. In Vrindavan, you can walk around and see people with this tilak and smoking a bidi every day. Every day. Not sometimes, every day. I remember in Imphal, every lady has a Gaudiya Vaishnav tilak, even if they're sitting on the ground selling fish. Dry fish. It's a dry fish. Manipur, how many times you went to Manipur? You also disciples of Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. They might have gone. 15 times. I only went 4 times. So there you will see nice Gopi Chandan, and they're very poor people. Very poor people. Because the Raja, was it Manik Chandra? Manik Chandra converted the whole Manipur to Gaudiya Vaishnav 350 years ago. A disciple of Narottam Das Thakur converted the king. That's the story. And in Mayapur, how many people are coming now? I was just in Mayapur. It's like a Kumbh Mela. They all eat fish. I think you know about that. Anyone who's from Bengal, there's a chart now. Chart is available on the internet. Where are the vegetarians in India? And the number 1 state is Rajasthan. Then Gujarat is number 2. Rajasthan is the most vegetarian state. And Bengal, 2% vegetarian, and Orissa 1% vegetarian. Everyone eats fish. All the pujaris in Puri, not in the temple, but at home, they eat fish. It's a sad story. Sad story, but what to do? Can't do any. Will of the Lord means you can't force them to give up. Oh, you're also Bengali. You know better than me.
We have never touched.
In your family, Yeah, they're Gaudiya Vaishnava families, they never touch. Of course. 1% of how many, the population of Bangladesh is what, 200 million? 20 crores? Bangladesh, who knows? West Bengal is 12 crores. Bangladesh is 20 crore. 15 to 20 crore. So if you put it together, about 30, 25, 30 crore, 1% is a lot of people. Right? It's a lot of people. Yeah, you have a question? Comment.
I went to a long time ago, I think 1969, 70s, to Bangladesh. Those days, newly, actually, it was under Pakistan.
Yeah.
We went there, but in those days, Brahmins in Bangladesh, they were totally very, not even taking the Korean. But now, after this 71 war, the most of the Bengalis were forced to leave Bangladesh by heretical
Politics and
they came to not only India, America, and Europe,
Yeah.
and London. I have seen in London, the Goswamis and Banerjees and Mukherjees, they are all eating
non-veg.
That's a big problem.
So how do you come to the highest, Krishna Leela, Gopis and Raganuga Bhakti? And
That was my question. We get confused reading all these instructions and other things. According to me, I think that it is Krishna's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and serving Krishna in mind. Then you may get Krishna's mercy very quickly rather than following I'm Brahman, I'm this and that. That is very complicated. Very, very, very much complicated. Sesamando nahi jalo, vritha janmo jalo taro. That is one of our Acharya says, Vidya Kule Kikore Upaya. That is there. So Vidya Kule, in other words, Vidya Kule will help you progressing in Krishna consciousness. That is the one thing we have to understand. If you are right at the beginning of the training of Brahmanism, then you keep on doing that one, and that will increase your devotion, love for Krishna, at the end. That is my understanding. I don't know others.
You didn't give a full translation of that. You quoted one.
This will not help you from where you are, you born, and your kul. Kul means I am from a Brahman kul.
Family, tradition.
That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you in the Krishna. Kikore Upaya. That will not solve your problems, especially to give up mental desires and other things. So that is the so that is.
Okay, time is up. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Vrindavan Dham ki. Maybe he can stop, push the button. Oh, what is it? Tulasi Ark. Oh,
That's what I told you yesterday.
I didn't know. I don't remember. Anyway,
Give it to him.
it's turned off. Thank you. That fellow has gone away.